Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am your Muse Traci, and I am your favorite manifestation coach. I am here to inspire you and empower you to live the life of your dreams, to create on purpose exactly what you want in all areas of your life, to stop settling and to stop suffering. You are not here to suffer. If that sounds good to you, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I offer one-on-one coaching, and I'm now offering group coaching. My new group program, Manifest Your SP, is open now for registration, and it will stay open until Thursday this week, the 25th of July, depending on when you're watching this video, and then it's gone until 2025. We'll do it again next year. In this program, I teach you how to transform and revolutionize your life in all areas. We take a deep dive into your subconscious programming or your belief system and do the work to change the programming that is effectively covering up and masking your true nature. I will take you through the process of cleaning up your programming, breaking out of cycles and patterns, and truly understand your nature as the creator of your reality. I will teach you how to shift into the parallel reality you desire to be in, revise situations that still plague you and block you, and release the emotions and patterns that are keeping you stuck. The group program is held over 8 weeks, and I designed this program to create real transformation in every area of your life, including manifesting your specific person, if that's what you want, and return you back to your true nature of being an effortless and unlimited creator. If you're interested in learning more, leave me a comment here, or you can also send me an email and I'll get back to you. I also recently released a free mini course, which is a great prerequisite to my group program, where I explain why and how manifesting a specific person is absolutely possible. It's not just possible, it is what you're doing with every person in your life already. It's not a new skill that you have to learn. Well, you just have to take what you've been doing unconsciously and do it consciously, so you get the versions of people that you want to experience, that you prefer to experience. So if you are still questioning, is this working? Does this work? Is this how this works? If you're questioning anything, I highly recommend that you take this mini course. It's completely free, and it will help you to solidify your understandings of these fundamentals that make it possible. And so you can at least stop questioning that part of the process, right? And get on to manifesting the version that you truly want to experience. All right, so let's get into the video. Today I am talking all about law of assumption and persisting. And let's first just clearly define what law of assumption truly is. Let's get the definition right out in the beginning. So what does it really mean? Law of assumption states that whatever you assume is true becomes your reality. It's so simple, yet this is one thing that I see being asked in the questions, in the comments, over and over and over. Traci, I'm manifesting, my specific person, but they said they don't want to be with me. Okay, well, you have to persist in your assumption. Anything showing up in your reality that is not your chosen assumption is just old. It's just showing you what you previously assumed to be true. It's not that it's not working. It's not that, you can't have what you want. Anything showing up, even the things people say, which I'll get into in a moment here, it's just your previous assumption about what you believe you get to have, what you think this person actually thinks or wants. So, and I love this part of the definition. It is whatever you assume to be true becomes your reality, right? It's not whatever you have proof of. It's not whatever someone else has said. No, all of that is called regurgitation. If you are assuming things that, are based on what you've previously experienced or what people have previously said, you're just assuming what you observed with your 5 senses. You're limiting yourself to assuming what you have been. This is what I call being realistic. Realistic is based on like evidence, based on your experience or what someone else said or what someone else told you or something you read or something you saw from some other source. You are not limited. The definition, again, whatever you assume to be true will become your reality. Now, this is where we have to start to talk about persistence, because whatever you persist in must show up in your reality. And I have another quote from Neville. Let me find it. Yes, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Okay, so again, love this because he's saying an assumption, even if right now all the evidence denies your assumption, no problem. If you persist in your new assumption, it will harden into fact, which means it will show up in your external reality, but you have to persist. You have to persist. Okay? So again, this very simple part of law of assumption, I mean, simple, not easy, but simple, is a big place where people get hung up and stumble upon this, right? Because they think that they have to base their assumption on what they've observed, what they've heard people say, what they've observed other people doing, what they've experienced previously, what they've experienced in a previous relationship, what they've always experienced. No, none of that. An assumption, though false, it can be blatantly false. You can have zero evidence of your assumption. If you persist in it, it will harden into fact. This is the law. This is the law. Now let's talk about the though false part, because again, there is nothing true or false. This is the realm of opposites, the realm of polarity. So if one exists, the opposite also exists. So if the truth exists, the false also exists. You guys get my analogy, I hope. If the presence of something exists, the absence also exists. Your job is to choose. Do you want the presence or the absence? They both exist. How do I know? Because this is the realm of polarity. So if you've experienced the presence of something, you can experience the absence of something. If you've experienced the absence of something, you can experience the presence of something. So there is no real true or false. Everything exists. This is the realm of opposites or polarity. So just because something right now is false, meaning you don't have the evidence of it, or maybe you have the opposite evidence of it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Persist in your assumption and it will harden into fact. Now let's talk about what persisting is. Persisting is, okay, you've got your new assumption. Let's call it my specific person is committed to me. This is your new assumption. And right now, this assumption is false. You have evidence of the opposite. Maybe they've said, never going to happen. Okay, I know, not funny. Maybe they've said that to you. It's never going to happen. And so right now, your assumption that you have chosen, my specific person is committed to me, is false. Okay, well, according to Neville, that doesn't matter. So your job is to persist. Next part of the statement that he made, the claim. What does it mean to persist? It means your assumption is what you keep going back to. Every time the subject of specific person and commitment is on your mind, you go back to, oh yes, we are in a loving, committed, beautiful relationship. Okay? And nothing externally or in your own mind, your own ego, can sway you from this assumption. Nothing. This is what persisting means. So, again, I don't care if SP or your mom or your best friend or a stranger shows up and says, I don't think so. It's not happening. I don't care. You should not care. Persisting looks like my consciousness is the real reality, and I'm persisting in my chosen assumption. Although it seems false, I have evidence that it is false. I'm going to persist. I'm going to keep going back to this assumption, and I'm going to allow nothing to change my assumption. This is what persisting is. Same thing with your thoughts, your own ego, your own doubts and fears. You don't let any of that change your assumption either. Some people find not letting your own doubts change your assumption more difficult. Some people find external reality not affecting your assumption more difficult. Everybody's different. But either way, neither one should be able to change your assumption. This is what persisting is. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Nothing but nothing but nothing but nothing. Fill in the blank, whatever you, yeah, but Traci, what if this happens? No, also that should not be able to change your assumption. This is what persisting means. Means your chosen assumption does not change. And if you do this just in your mind, you don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to argue. You don't have to say to the stranger who said you don't get to have that thing, but I do. You don't have to say anything. This is just in your mind. In your mind, you persist. You go, oh, that's an old fear. That's my old assumption. I no longer believe that. I now believe committed, loving, beautiful relationship, and you persist. Now, the third thing that can be a bit of a challenge is nothing happens. Nothing changes. Everything seemingly stays the same. You cannot be bothered by time passing. If you're bothered by time passing, you have a misunderstanding of who you are and what you're doing. Your job is to keep your internal space committed to this assumption. If you're needing it to show up out there, you're kind of shaky on understanding who you are. You're needing it so that you can feel solid in your assumption. That's not how this works. You first need to understand who you are. The God of your reality, the only one creating, the consciousness that is projecting out, however you like to say it. You need to know that so that when your mind, this is an example of your ego, by the way, yeah, but time is passing. Look how much time has passed. You go, okay, time is passing. I don't care. If I persist, it must show up. So let the time pass. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to enjoy my life because I know how this works, right? So in other words, we're not waiting and we're not needing. Need is another huge block. If you need to see it, you are keeping yourself stuck. So shrug your shoulders. Get really good at this one move. Shrug your shoulders. Stop needing it to show up out there. Needing it to show up is a block. You cannot have what you need. You cannot have what you want because that very state of needing or wanting, you're sending a powerful signal. I don't have this. I don't have this. I don't have this. As within, so without. Your reality can't show you that you have it, which out there is a mirror reflection of the inside of you, right? So if you keep thinking, I don't have it, out there has to reflect that back to you. Likewise, if you stick to your assumption, I have it, and you feel content, and you feel all the feelings that you would be feeling if you had it, which a lot of times is just the absence of lack, by the way, guess what now the mirror has to show you? The mirror has to confirm your assumption that you persisted in, that you did not waver from, that you didn't let anything, but anything, nothing can take you from this assumption. You didn't let anything take you away from your assumption. You stayed there. And now guess what? The mirror has to show you, confirm your assumption that you persisted in. So when you notice yourself needing it to show up, remind yourself you don't need anything to show up. You are the consciousness that is getting projected out. Your job is to move yourself from wanting and needing to having. So this is really the meaning of persisting, you guys. Nothing outside of you or even inside of you, your own doubt, your own ego, your own questioning, your own fears. Your ego knows exactly the ones to get you to. So you need to get good at identifying your ego so that you don't fall into your own weaknesses, basically. Get to know what your ego is and what it's trying to do, and truly get to know who you are. You are the consciousness. You are an unlimited like infinite potential being. Connect with that. Understand that fundamentally, that this is who you are. So the limitations of your ego start to not touch you. If they're touching you, you still don't have a good, solid, foundational understanding of who you are. And same thing, when you need things to show up out there, that is showing you also that maybe you don't fully understand who you are, because you're relying on something out there to confirm, yes, you are indeed the consciousness that everything is being projected from. You're still relying on it. You're still waiting to integrate that to yourself, to fully embody that, to fully rest there, to fully have faith and trust in that. You're waiting to see it out there. Okay, if I see this thing, then I'll know who I am. It does not work that way. This is what Neville is talking about when he says you have to sell your belief in all external sources of creation in order to buy the pearl. What is the pearl? The pearl is your knowledge that you're the only one doing it. So you have to give up belief in all the other sources that you think you previously thought are creating. This is what he means. You cannot keep both. If you keep belief in one other little thing, you can't buy the pearl. You can't get the pearl. In other words, if you think that time going by means something else is going on and your consciousness is not the one creating, you didn't buy the pearl. You have to give up belief. You have to sell it, give it up, just put it on the side of the road. Someone else can come and pick it up. Nobody's going to want it, but you can put it out there. Neville kind of makes this joke when he's talking about buying the pearl. No one's going to want to buy it because it's not really worth anything, the belief in these external sources. But you have to give them all up in order to really have the power to create your reality consciously. This is what he's talking about. You can't have both. You can't say, I'm going to keep these beliefs and like, maybe it's fate, maybe it's God's will, maybe they have free will, maybe it's some other source. I don't even know what the other possibilities are. You can't keep these around and have the full power to create your reality. They don't, it's not how it works. You have to give up all of those. Sell them, throw them away, just give them up. And only then you've bought the pearl, knowing that you are the only source. All right, you guys, leave me a comment down below if you found this video helpful and useful. Give me a thumbs up. You can share the video as well so that other people can get enlightened, have the inspiration to know exactly what law of assumption is. Keep it simple, keeping it simple here, and empower themselves to create the life that they want to live. And if you do want some extra help with this, check out my group program. It's open till Thursday of this week. So jump in while you can. I'm super excited to take you guys through this 8-week course. Super excited about it. So I will see you guys there, and I'll see you in the next video as well. Bye.